Hey folks, it's the Striking Viking and your friend and mine, the Trippin' Sister. That's right. In our last video, I showed you how I built a ram air induction system for our intake. While we were outside, while Trippin' Sister, being my videographer, was making the video, she said, "What is that?" And she pointed at something on the ground. I said, "What is that?" And I pointed at something on the ground. It was something on the ground, and it was dripping on the ground. One of those kind of drips where you say, that's not supposed to be dripping on the ground. Not only that, but it smelled pretty powerful. So, taking a closer look at it by getting down on my back and crawling underneath the coach, I found out what it was dripping on the ground. It was gasoline! That's right, gasoline. Anytime you've got a gasoline leak, it's probably not a good idea, considering there are things like open flames around from your stove and your furnace and whatnot. So I took a look and found out what it was is the line that goes from the fuel line to the generator intake line was completely corroded. Once upon a time, it was a good fuel line. Now, no longer a good fuel line. There were numerous places along the way where it had been leaking a little bit, and the fuel line was corroded to the point where it was actually cracked and oozing, I tell you. So what I did was I went up to the parts store and I bought a 4-foot length of line on the premise that it's better to have too much line than not enough line. You don't want to start replacing the line and go, oh, it's 6 inches short. So I got a 4-foot length of line and 2 fresh hose clamps. Might as well replace the clamps. Those old ones have been on there for quite some period of time, and it's better to start with new equipment. So I put the clamps on the end of the hose line and snugged them down a little bit, and then I used my vice grips to close off the line while I took off the old line, put the fresh line on, tightened it down, attached it to the generator, took off the old line, attached it to the generator, and tightened it down with the hose clamp. Then I told Trippin' Sister, "Fire up the Jenny, baby, and let's see what happens." So she fired up the generator, and let me tell you, bone dry. Now, it may take a little while for the gasoline smell to evaporate from the gravel under which we're parked, but in the meantime, our dripping line for the generator has stopped. That could have contributed to our low fuel mileage, but we'll see, because now that we've got it connected, I've also made note of our generator hours when we filled up with fuel, and we'll see how much fuel we're actually using for the Jenny, instead of how much fuel we're wasting and how much we're dropping onto the ground. Drip, drip, drip. So, anyway, a quick fuel line repair and we're back in business and ready to go. This is Striking Viking saying, keep tripping and we'll see you later.